Is Trump trying to purposefully send our economy into a recession? Is he trying to crash the economy? Now, at first you may say, that's crazy, conspiracy theory, it makes no sense, and there's lots of reasons. But it's not because Trump necessarily is a bad guy, or he's evil, or anything else that people want to say, but there's actually a reason that could be very true on why he would do this. In fact, it may be important that he does. Why would it be good if they crashed the economy? Here's why Trump may be intentionally trying to crash the economy. And the reason could be very valid. You see, we all know that the government has taken on astronomical amounts of debt, but there's something else. 2025, we have $10 trillion that is coming due. But it's not just that it's coming due at interest rates that are double what we used to be paying. Right now, interest rates are really high due to inflation and mass government spending. $10 trillion represents 30% of our total debt. The United States debt, which is over $34 trillion, averages around 2.5% interest rate. Now, when 2025, $10 trillion hits, that is 30% roughly of the total amount of debt we have, interest rates have been as high as 4.7 and could even be higher by the time it hits. That represents hundreds of billions of dollars difference in how much we have to pay. Taxpayers will have to pay an astronomical amount at today's interest rates versus what they have been. Interest in 2024 payments a year were roughly $800 to $900 billion. Interest in 2025, even at a lower rate than those highs, would well be over $1.3 trillion. To put it into perspective, that payment is more than all the other main categories of government spending, maybe even more than Social Security. That means the US taxpayers will have to pay more on interest than our entire defense. Not only more, but hundreds of millions of more, and could potentially get up to twice as much. More than our health programs, and it could be more than our entire Social Security. So you can actually see why there's a massive incentive to get that interest rate down. But you can't unless the economy slows down. Why? Because we have inflation. And if you lower interest rates, economic activity picks up and inflation rises. So it's not something the Fed can just simply do. If they did, we could have hyperinflation. Way worse than anything we've ever seen. Inflation remains high because government spending has been so astronomical over the last 5 years. Now we have the problem. High interest rates that cannot simply be lowered, and $10 trillion or 30% of our government's debt coming due. One of the ways is we go into a recession. We have economic activity stall out, slow down. Unemployment rises. People go bankrupt. And in order to stop a recession, we lower interest rates. The Fed could then drop interest rates, so when we refi our 30% of national debt, it is at a level that saves taxpayers hundreds of billions of dollars. And it's not a one-year thing. That's hundreds of billions of dollars every single year for as long as that debt is due. So you're talking about trillions and trillions of dollars that we can't spend on other things. But even worse, because we can't afford the government today, we have to borrow to pay our bills. You increase debt by hundreds of billions more, it's more unaffordable. We have to borrow more debt to pay for the interest on the debt we already have. That could turn into a downward spiral, which would also make interest rates go higher because the government isn't reliable. Then every time we have to repay debt, interest rates are rising, and it puts us into a death spiral. Now, is that a good idea or not? I don't really know. And the question is, would short-term pain to save long-term catastrophic damage be worth it? Yes. But is that actually going to happen? Or could we somehow make it all work? But don't forget that 2025 is the beginning. $10 trillion is the start. Every year after, trillions more are coming due. that we have to refinance. So what do you think? Would it be better for us to actually have a recession, drop interest rates, and make sure that we can manage the actual liabilities that we have? Or would it be better to refinance and keep the economy going? This is a big topic, and this is just a snapshot of why Trump may actually want to make a recession. So you want to understand even more? I made a whole playlist of economic topics and what is going on in the world, what it means to you, and what the risks or benefits may be in a digestible way that you can understand.